Hello, this is the trade site Forex market preview and international economic data roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, the 10th of January 2016 and ending Friday the 15th. Believe it or not, this is options expiration week already for January. Here's a look at the DX. This is the dollar index daily chart. Bounced around a little bit here to start the year. Still has some nice general construction. You'll notice the far left side of the chart back in April last year is the beginning of a cup and now handle formation. We've also got the 13 seeker sell signal back then that caused the sell-off, and then we've recovered ever since. So it's really good chart construction. If it does break out to the long side, it should lead to a nice run. But of course, there's nothing that says it has to break out. Here's the euro dollar, kind of the inverse of that, but actually the euro seems to be holding up a little bit more than you would have thought. And overall, this is only about 1,000 pips of range over 8 months, and it's right in the middle of that range. Here's the pound, which has actually made good new lows. Sorry about that. And so we've got an inverted cup breakdown on the pound, which is good for the dollar. Aussie, here's another one. Look at that. That's a nice base formation. If it cracks the lows of September 1st in that area right there, that's going to be a massive breakdown point on the Aussie. We'll try to find an entry there this week. Pound yen looks even more negative for the pound than the pound dollar did. Euro yen looks more negative. So the euro's holding up a little bit. The pound is not. The dollar's the beneficiary of everything that's going on at the moment. Pound Swiss, not much going on. And the New Zealand dollar still operating under a 13 seeker sell signal and approaching the static trend line. By the way, back to the pound Swiss. Remember that 13 sell signal there in November. Look how that worked out. Nice plummet from that perspective. All right, let's take a look at what happened this week in 30-minute candles. On the euro dollar, you can see we opened flat, went up on Monday, and came down on Monday, both ways. To start the week, there was some volatility there. High to low for the week is about 230 pips, which is not great. Tuesday was also down, though, and then Wednesday pretty flat. Thursday came back up. Friday pretty flat. And then remember, we had trade balance this week, but also the non-farm payroll unemployment number on Friday. Here's a look at the pound dollar, much more consistently downward in its trend. Almost 300 pips of range here, and never really got much of a bounce like the euro did in comparison. All right, so we've started the year. Had some winners, had some losers. That's okay. We're trading full size except ahead of our big three and other stuff like that we worry about. So let's go through the calendar for the week ahead and see what we've got. So building consensus out of New Zealand Sunday night. Japan's on bank holiday to start the week. ANZ job advertisements out of Australia, whatever that means. Swiss retail sales, European Centex investor confidence. Housing starts out of Canada. Labor market conditions out of the U.S. Current account and bank lending out of Japan, ANZ commodity prices out of New Zealand, retail sales out of the UK, foreign direct investment out of China. We've got consumer confidence and economy watcher sentiment out of Japan going into Tuesday. China's going to release their new loans and money supply evidently sometime this week, according to that number. Manufacturing production and industrial production out of the UK. Then Tuesday morning here in the US, we've got a Fed member speaking. We've got small business index. UK, the nicer GDP estimate, JOLTS job opening out of the U.S., IBD tip economic optimism out of the U.S., money supply out of Japan, trade balance out of China. Wednesday, French CPI, industrial production out of Europe, German 10-year bond auction. Government board member Zerberg speaking, I guess, out of Switzerland at 8 a.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. Crude oil inventories here in the U.S. That's the weekly number. 10-year bond auction here in the U.S. Beige book in the afternoon, along with the Fed budget balance, both of them at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Core machinery orders out of Japan. PPI out of Japan. Employment change and unemployment rate out of Australia Wednesday night. Thursday, we've got preliminary machine tool orders out of Japan. German WPI, Italian industrial production, Spanish 10-year bond auction, Eurogroup meetings. The UK, we've got their bank, the Bank of England rate announcement, so be prepared for that one. Also looks like they have the one from the ECB. And then in the U.S., on Canada, NHPI number at 8:30, along with the weekly unemployment claims here in the U.S., Fed member speaking, import prices, natty gas now are in, 30-year bond auction. New Zealand's got their FPI number at 4:45 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday, and then Australia's home loans. And we wrap the week on Friday with budget balance out of France, construction output out of the UK, trade balance for Europe, ECOFIN meetings in Europe, U.S. retail sales, PPI, and Empire State Manufacturing Index at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Capacity utilization, industrial production at 9:15. Then we end with consumer confidence, sentiment, sorry, not confidence, it's University of Michigan sentiment, business inventories here in the U.S. So it's a busy week, none of our big ones compared to last week, but there's a lot of data. Friday's options expiration, so just straightforward trading week. I'll be full size every night as far as I can tell from this, and if not, we'll tell you in the messenger. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. If you've not taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We'll help you out for a couple weeks. Thank you.